if I went back and played this game, am I just a better player now than I am before to where I can get rid of this and I'm like aware of where everyone is?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think I'm way better of a player now. I hadn't played COD in like maybe like a week and a half, but I took a break, played last night. Hands felt strange, but going back to it though, I was like, oh yeah, I still got this. I still know the spawns. I still like have all the awareness. And yeah, did I have that when I was 13, 14 playing MW3? I don't think so. I think I was dumb.
I think we all were. Like, we were just running around. So, I mean, we sort of knew what spawns were, what was happening. But if I went back and played my old self in that game, that guy would get smoked.
I think so too. I think probably just be because of awareness and positioning. Welcome everybody to episode number 223 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, how we doing, bro?
Doing pretty good. Weather is fantastic, actually. It's
Hell yeah, it
nice,
is.
cool breeze. It's not too hot. It actually got colder the past 2 days, but honestly, not that bad. It's like mid 60s right now.
Yeah, no, it's not bad right now. Today was like way colder, dude. Yesterday I went out for a walk in the morning and I ran into someone from work. So then we were just sitting on a bench talking for like 3 hours. And I didn't even notice it at the time. But then when I went home, dude, my arms, you probably see a little bit on my neck how it's red.
Mm.
Dude, I got roasted, like absolutely annihilated.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's Cambodian and he was just
Mhm.
like, dude, I'm tan in here. Like, this is no problem for me. And then I
Yeah.
text him, I was like, dude, I'm completely he's just like, yeah, that's what you got to deal with. Like it
Yeah.
was yeah, it was so bad. Like even sleeping last night, like my legs and
Mhm.
my arms are just annihilated. So a bit
Yeah.
of a
See,
drag, but I'm happy it's cool today.
I've had obviously the opposite. When it's sunny out and I step out, like I don't burn, but I tan like so fast. Like if I just step
Yeah.
outside for 10 minutes, I instantly get a watch tan.
Right.
And on what, like last Tuesday, I was volunteering at like a work event and we were outside all day. And I got back home and I like took off my watch and like you could just see a clear watch tan and it was so bad. And I was just like, all right, cool. I guess I'm just gonna keep getting tanner and tanner anytime I step out when it's sunny.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I gotta even out like the shoulders though. I'm getting the farmer's tan, a bad one.
Right. 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 Yeah. So you have to just go like do some yard work around and just be shirtless in the back so then you don't look
Yeah.
completely messed up, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. I gotta be either shirtless or just completely sleeveless to even
Right.
everything out.
Right, right, right. But yeah, today was much nicer. I don't know what the rest of the week's looking like, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too hot because I'm not putting in my
Yeah.
air conditioning here. And I don't want it to just be like, 90
Mhm.
degrees and I'm sleeping and I'm sweating because I cannot do that. I can't sleep when it's hot. I see people who say they can do that.
Mhm.
For me, I'd rather be like a tundra in my room than
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like sweltering hot.
Yeah. Luckily the 2 days that were super hot here, I think those were just 2, like, off days, but
I think so
sadly,
too.
I think we're getting more rain, but
Yeah, bro, I say
never
it, man, I've
stops,
said it
man.
before. It's every Saturday. It's every Saturday
Yeah,
it rains, man. And, like, Saturday, I'm moving, and I swear to God, if it's raining,
that sucks.
yeah, I'm gonna be
That would
so
suck.
pissed. Yeah. Like, it's not gonna be that bad, but again,
Mhm.
just if it is raining or if it's, like, 95 degrees and it's insane humidity, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm like, "Don't
Mhm.
don't make this more annoying than it has to be," you
Yeah,
know?
right.
So we'll see though. But man, honestly, we have a bunch of things to be talking about today because there were some rumors that came up today, and then we had our last weekend of online matches, which I don't know for you, man. It just seems like this season flew by. Like
Yeah,
it
I feel
seems
like
like the season hasn't even started.
yeah, I feel like we say that every single year when it, gets to the last major, and I mean, it's kinda true though, like, I don't know, the format of it is just so weird, and yeah, we're already on to the last major, and then after this, it's champs and EWC, then the season's over. So,
Yeah, like, I'm still trying to see these teams and think of, like, where they're gonna go and what they can do regarding their path to getting better because
nothing.
yeah, exactly. It's at that point where, like, oh, yeah, they're not gonna make any changes. The only changes they make is after champs going into
Yeah,
EWC.
yeah.
Um, And yeah, to your point, the format, it just makes it feel as if we've really haven't watched much COD at all.
Mhm,
Because a lot of these matches on the online qualifiers, especially now, they really don't matter.
mhm.
There is still, I think, a fight potentially for champs with OpTic and all that, which I
Yeah,
think we'll
yeah.
talk about, but I don't think it's one that is going to be like really easy. Like it's Cloud9, right? Isn't it basically Cloud9 and OpTic? That's like the two teams that
It's,
Cloud9
Rocker.
will bump them. Well, Rocker would bump them out.
Yeah, yeah. Which, I
Yeah,
mean, that would be a 'cause Rocker right now is above Cloud9, in points, but I think Optic's up 30 points on Rocker right now, but if Optic get double first rounded or double, uh, they lose in winners than in losers,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which there's a high chance of it possibly happening. They are sitting there praying that Rocker does not make a run.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll get to the bracket because I've
Yeah, yeah.
definitely got my thoughts on it as to like there's things that I know are gonna happen, but there's the other side of it that I wish would happen.
Mhm.
You know, like again, I love the storyline with it. Um, but before we even go into talking about the bracket prediction, there was a couple of things I want to talk about regarding Call of Duty. One of them that literally just came out today, and it was showing wall running in Black Ops 6. It was something that I don't know if it was like in the game code and someone was able to exploit it and actually do it in the game, but they were on what's the map? I haven't played it in forever. It's the one that we used to not really like. It's like got the giant satellite heady in the middle of it with all the bunkers on the other side of it. What's that map in BO6 called? I'm totally
The
blanking.
Oh, the desert one?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't it satellite?
I don't know if it's called satellite. I feel like it has another name to it, but regardless, he was just wall
Mhm.
running all over that map and like doing the insane movement, bring me back to the BO3 days. And
Mhm.
apparently, it's a rumor that wall running is going to be the next evolution of the Omni movement for Black Ops 7, which can be next year's well, I guess you said again this year's Call of Duty. Um
Well, yeah.
and
Mm.
we've talked about this before in the past as to what they were going to do with Omni movement and how they could make it better. Um I was not expecting this to come out. I didn't think that they would take that big of a leap. But
Mhm.
dude, if next year's Call of Duty does have wall running in it, I'm gonna be so excited for it. I completely missed that movement type. The skill gap and skill diff was just huge with it. And I mean, yeah, it was one of the like most fun times playing Call of Duty, in my opinion, was like back in the Black Ops 3 IW realm.
Mhm. Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna implement the wall running if it's actually true, because what are we gonna have jetpacks somehow, or are we just gonna it's gonna be like a slight run, you know what I mean? Like, there's a small little wall and we do a little, you know, wall run quickly and then we slide back down, like an animation off of it or something.
Yeah, that's what I would assume it's gonna be. I wouldn't
Mhm.
think they would go to jetpacks because, like, jetpacks with Omni movement, I don't really know
Mhm.
how you would do that because, like, what's really the point of it? Like, if you could be doing, like, boosting sideways and everything, how does the Omni
Mhm.
movement play in? But I think if you just add that element of being able to run off walls, um, but it's still, like, you're on the ground, I think
Mhm.
that could be a good addition to it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it would depend on the maps too, like how they actually design maps where you can wall run on them. Because if they're just reusing like some of these maps, I don't know how that's going to go, because what's these maps were designed for this game. So if they're adding a new mechanic, I would hope that they design like a whole new set of maps, like completely built off of that. Um, but I mean, we'll see. I like any more advanced movement, I'm all in for.
Yeah.
So if they added jetpacks, that'd be fantastic. I'm fine with that. Any faster movement, I'm cool with. The only thing is just tax sprint. I don't like that. So everything else, I'm cool with.
Right. And to your point about the maps is Charlie Intel had tweeted it out about it as well. I think just kind of reminding people that it was gonna be like for the most part, multiplayer is gonna have Black Ops 2 remastered maps, but they're just
Hmm.
gonna go and, you know, I guess change them around to fit the settings so they're gonna be more futuristic. Because I think it was supposed to be more like futuristic Japan as to where they're
Yeah.
setting the game. Um, so to that point, yeah, it's just a matter of how much do they change the maps or do they change them at all? And
Hmm.
then you can just kind of run on anything that is a wall. you know, you could just do that. I mean, I
Mhm.
remember back in Black Ops 3, like playing on Nuketown. I mean, you could go like all the way up to the top house, but you could see
Yeah,
that there were
yeah.
platforms there that you could wall run on. So they didn't have
Mhm.
to change it too much.
Mhm.
Um, but again, I wonder how those maps are going to really play like with wall running on them. If it's going to completely change those maps in my opinion, and I don't know if it's
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
better or the worse.
I mean, I think if they have to go back and redesign the maps if they're gonna remaster all those, right? Which I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. I'd much rather have them redesign those maps for that game than like throw in raid. I'm like, okay, what wall are you running on in raid that's gonna
Right.
help? Um, because like Black Ops 3, I mean, all those maps were designed for jetpacks and like wall running, obviously, and then um people like abused it and stuff or whatever. But if you're just taking the original Black Ops 2 map and then throwing it in this game, it's that never well, no, I'm not gonna say it never works, but it always feels different. It's never gonna feel like the original game, right? And if they did that with this movement, it would feel completely different. So that's why I do hope they add, I don't know, platform depending how futuristic it is, right? Like
Right.
bigger walls or something to run on and help with the omni movement.
Right, because if you think about, to your point, raid, like there's really no spot that you could be doing that, or very
Yeah.
few situations where I think it would be worthwhile. Like maybe on like the middle courtyard, you could do it, but for the
That's like
most
the
part, not
only
really.
place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you
and then
wall
and
run
like
off
even worse,
those steps.
right? And think about like express or
Yeah.
standoff. Like, where are you gonna do it there? Like, pretty much
Mhm.
nowhere. Um, so that's where that question comes up for me too. I don't know how they're gonna be able to tweak these maps, trying to keep the integrity of them, and
Mhm.
not have people complaining about how they've been ruined. Um, but yeah, still trying to have them kind of feel the same with just that new addition.
Mhm.
Um,
Or
it's gonna be a real task for them.
is this wall running like they call it wall running, right? And we know what wall running is. It's from those jetpacks. Like you're literally on the wall for you could be hovering there for like seconds,
Oh yeah.
if not like 30 seconds to a minute. You can just be doing that. Like under redwood, just running around the trees, dude.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. You could keep
yeah.
doing it
But
infinitely.
or is this gonna be more like parkour, you run up against a wall, your character does like 3 steps, and then they have to, like, jump off. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, is
Right.
that wall riding? I mean,
Dude,
I guess technically it is, right?
I mean, dude, are they taking a page out of NFL Street 2 with the
Maybe, yeah.
wall jumping off the walls?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
that's what you could do?
if they do that, I mean, I don't think that's the biggest mechanical change or anything, and I don't think it's one where, oh, it's gonna be completely abused. I mean, I say this now, but, like, you wall run, fucking slide off of it and slide cancel into a kill or something like that, but, it's not I don't think it would change the whole game like Omni Movement would. You know, Omni Movement was this whole new mechanic added to the game, and it changed everything. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think again, and I'm hoping that it's gonna be just, like as they described it, the next evolution of it.
Hmm.
And to your point, how far do they push it? Who really knows? Because from the clips that you see online, it looks like BO3 wall running.
Yeah.
Like you're running like, I don't know, probably 15, 20 feet
Hmm.
off of a wall. But yeah, if it's just gonna be some little thing like you're saying, that's what it is right now, but then, over the course of the coming months and so they change it. Yeah, if it's a little, sidestep like that, it's gonna be another thing to learn. And I'm sure like people always do, they'll find a way to abuse it somehow,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah.
completely
Because
break people's ankles with it.
like the way I see it is like there's boots on the ground, there's jetpacks, there's Omni Movement. Those are like the core mechanics of the movement system of a game or like of COD. And then the slide, the dolphin dive, um, the jetpacks. Oh no, sorry, not jetpacks. The wall running. Those are just added types of movement within like that system that it can define you as like, oh, you're a really good movement player, or you're not good at this game. Like it creates a much bigger skill gap when you add like the slide, dive, wall running, and things like that.
Right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I I don't know what it's gonna end up looking like, by the time we get it. The thing that's weird to me about it is it's really them straying away from the movement that they're gonna have right now and how it integrates with Warzone. And I wonder if it's gonna be another one of those years because Treyarch had it like when they had Cold War, where it was completely different than what Warzone was at the time. Um, and I have a feeling that it's gonna go down that route again. I would only imagine that Warzone is gonna try to bank on what COD 2020 was it 2026? Like the one that's gonna be after this,
Yeah.
Black Ops 7. Um, they're gonna try to just put all their efforts into streamlining that movement system.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know if they take this 1 year hiatus and they completely change the movement and then they go back to what it used to be for
I
Warzone.
I mean,
That's
they
kinda
already
risky.
they've done it already.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, through Cold War, they just didn't, you know I mean, that movement was actually, no, that movement was different because there was no tac sprint in, Cold War, and it still had tac sprint in Warzone.
Legit the best.
Uh, and then all they did was add the Cold War weapons into Warzone, so, I mean, they've done it before. And actually, I think that was the year too where CDL was on Twitch and not YouTube.
I
So it
think
seems
so,
like
yeah.
it just feels like every time it's Treyarch, we're going towards the right direction for what COD should be, and then the following year after that, it just, goes backwards.
Yeah, exactly. We go, like, up 2 steps and then we go down 4 or 5, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, I don't know what it'll look like, and, again, right now, Warzone seems to still be in a good state, like, everything that they've done so far with, bringing Verdansk back, I haven't seen too many people complain about it, besides the cheaters.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I hope that they just kinda stay separate, like, they just still put in their focus onto the multiplayer and not trying to integrate them as much. Again, Warzone's, like, got its own place. Um, it's the same thing just as, like COD Mobile, Like, COD Mobile is, like, its own realm, they're doing their own thing, and the game's doing well, you know? Like, there should just be all these different sects of Call of Duty and not trying to, like, have them all be one thing.
Mhm.
I think that's kind of what inevitably will, like, kill the game if they keep trying to go towards that direction.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We don't really know what's happening with Warzone. I'm honestly kinda surprised that Verdansk is still holding on for this long because
Me too.
they've been playing it. I mean, um, I've seen, like, clips of it and stuff. I've watched people play it. It just looks like Warzone to me. Again, I was never really a big Warzone person to begin with, but I mean, people are having fun. So as long as people are enjoying it, then I guess it's a win for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, it was obviously a great move by them to be doing that. And yeah, I remember we talked about it a while ago regarding the effort and just the content that they would put towards it to keep it alive. They've clearly done that.
Mhm.
And it's going to be really hard for something like Warzone to fail. They talk about it saying that it's going through its tough times. And people
Mhm.
aren't liking the game, but at the end of the day, dude, there's still millions of people who are playing that game and putting money into it. You
Yeah,
know,
but the question is like, okay, well, what are we doing next year? Like a model like Warzone, you have to evolve somehow, and the only way to do that is like I guess the easiest, well, not easiest way, but a big way would be change the map completely.
right?
So I don't know. I'm assuming at some point they're gonna have a brand new map, and it's probably gonna be when the new game comes out. So
Right, right. Yeah, and they just need to have, all the people that they can putting their effort into that. I mean, we've said that with the developers, even on just the multiplayer side of Call of Duty being split, and then, there's not enough resources and time being put into the game, and then you get kind
mhm,
of this half-baked game. I think Warzone's kind of the same thing because I saw with the news that Warzone Mobile is apparently shutting down because it
mhm.
said it was not meeting expectations, which I mean, that just means, right, they're not making enough money off of it. Um,
Yeah, no one's
and
downloading it.
right, right. Which, I was surprised by that because, COD Mobile is obviously so huge and just the
Mhm.
mobile gaming sphere in general is huge. I would have thought that Warzone Mobile would have been absolutely insane. Like the amount
See,
of people that would have been playing it, but
mhm,
it's not at all. And I think it's because multiplayer COD, people like it because you could be in and out of a match in less than 10 minutes. In
yeah,
Warzone, it could be 2 minutes or it could be like half an hour that you're in a match, and like
Yeah.
on the go gaming, like quick matches, Warzone doesn't really translate to that.
Yeah, you have to dedicate time to it. And usually if you're on your phone for the most part, like if you're just standing in line or whatever, you're not gonna have the 20 minutes to be in a game, while you're waiting in line or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, like I know in COD Mobile, uh, you're not playing all the way to like 75 kills in TDM. Like I'm pretty sure you're playing to 30. Like it's so quick. It's truly you pick up your phone, play a little bit, and then you can just close the app and do whatever you need to next.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that there are some of the resources from COD Mobile, like Warzone side, that they just go and put into Warzone for the sake of those people. Because again, Warzone down the line is going to need a new map to just keep the longevity of it going on, and they got to make sure that it hits. And
yeah,
if there's people that are talented working on the Warzone mobile side, you know, take those people back over. Like, come on, bro.
yeah. Well, I don't know if Activision's gonna want them because they're completely separate from them.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They're
Some
from
of those
China.
Right, right. Well, dude, maybe some of those people though, bro, they go and send their application in. It's like, dude, you see
Well,
what we
dude,
were doing?
I mean, I think what they're doing is pretty straightforward. You take all the fan favorite maps, combine fucking everything, and put into one.
Right. I don't think that's that complicated. Um, but
Yeah,
it's obviously worked for them.
I mean, yeah, you take the top 5 maps from like every COD, or the top 3 maps from every COD, and just put them into one game, and
Yeah.
then release updates of favorite weapons and stuff. That's what COD Mobile is doing, and
Yeah.
it's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, they did it right with the whole idea of tapping into nostalgia because they
Mhm,
have all of that, but they continue to give you new content and like change what's going on in the game, as
mhm,
opposed to what I think, Activision is always thinking with these. They're not going to change anything, just leave it as is and not
mhm.
really give you new stuff to change the experience for you. And that's where they
Yeah,
kind of screw themselves over,
yeah. I mean, they're gatekeeping.
of
Like
course.
like, can you imagine using, like, the VMP on, like, what's that? On, like, Terminal,
Yeah,
like, just
they'd be
mixing
ridiculous.
random weapons on good maps,
Right, right,
and
right.
that's what COD Mobile does. I mean, those
Yeah,
people, the developers, obviously, they're like, "You know what? Let's just go put all the best maps into one game,"
yeah. Bro, can you
which
imagine,
people have been asking for, so
dude, can you imagine using the VMP on Mission from MW3?
yeah, right? Yeah.
Like, that would be so sick. I wish that, COD Mobile could come to console, like, that would be so much fun, but
Mhm.
obviously, that ain't ever gonna happen in a
Yeah.
million years.
Yeah, no way.
No.
Uh, there is other news about, so MW3, it got remastered on PC on, like, one of the I don't know what site it is, but it's one of those, sites where, like, they remastered MW2, the OG MW2,
Right.
and you can go on PC and play it. It's, like, sort of modded. But so they remastered MW3, and I was watching clips of it, and I'm like, "Damn, it looks so nice, like,
I haven't
high
seen it.
res. It looks so nice, and it looks exactly like what it was back in the day,
Yeah.
and the sounds and everything, but it's really detailed."
And it hasn't been shut down yet?
Not yet. I
Damn.
mean I mean, it just came out, so it will
Right.
get shut down. Like, I don't even think it's a week old.
Right, right.
So, it
Man,
will
I
get
I gotta
shut down at
I
some
gotta go
point.
watch that after this then. I mean, that stuff is so cool to me because, man, it's all passion projects, right? That these
Yeah.
people who go and do that stuff, like, there are people like you and me who love those games, and then they just wanna still see them revived. Um, because man, there is gonna be a point where all these games that we played when we were kids, we can't play them anymore, you
Mhm.
know? I mean, who's gonna wanna go and dig out the old console and try to, like, load into an MW3 lobby, Like,
Those
it I'm
servers are
sure
gonna be
I'm sure
long
you
gone.
could. Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure, there's probably some people still playing
Mhm.
now, but yeah, the servers are gonna eventually be shut down.
Yeah.
And how are you gonna experience these games really? Just through emulators if they come out.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you literally, like, set up a LAN with your friends and jump in a private match. That's, like, the
right.
only way.
Yeah, but that's why I love seeing those projects because it's just cool. It's cool to see what that game, which again, MW3, no doubt, it's like one of the best CODs ever.
Mhm.
Seeing what that game would look like if it came out in 2025. Like,
It was
shit.
nice. It was
Oh,
really
yeah.
detailed. The guy was using the MSR. I'm like, "Oh, wow." Like, the noises, the hit markers, and everything, it
Yeah, yeah,
brings me
yeah.
back.
Dude, I remember I saw something from it. It was a while ago now, but it was the sound that you get when you get the specialist bonus,
Mhm.
and it was like one of those sounds that I just, heard thousands of times in my life, but I just heard it again and I was like, "Holy shit." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it makes me wanna go play the game again. He's like, "Specialist achieve firing for a bag." I'm like, "Oh, man, damn."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, that side note, like, that game just had what a fucking cool concept with the assault streaks, the support
Mhm.
streaks, and the specialist streaks. Like, man, why was that just a one-off thing? I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was looking at, like, the classes too, and it's so funny how things like, casual side, not the competitive side, but, like, the thing to use in MW2 and MW3 was, like, a silencer.
Right.
Like, a silencer was always on, like, the ACR and the MP7. That was, like, silencer with FMJ on it,
Yeah, always.
and it's so weird now because you don't see anyone using silencers anymore, like, specifically after that game too,
Yeah.
because it, like, ruined your damage completely.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it
but
totally did.
but in that game, it worked. The Modern Warfare series. I mean, that was back when they're clearly the best developer,
Right.
Infinity Ward was. But I don't know. I always thought that was interesting that all of us ran silencers on like
Yeah, and, I think back to and I was watching The Flank, it reminded me of it because they were talking about, I think it was one of the subs in the game, and just like how there's one attachment on there that's completely broken it, like with the sub versus AR debate.
Mhm.
And Aches was saying like, so you're saying like, tons of attachments is a problem.
Mhm.
And then they were just like listing off attachments back on the old CODs. Like, dude, wasn't there only like one site, And Chris was like, yeah, there was a red dot and there was an ACOG. And I'm like, yeah, that was it. Like
Mhm.
they're like on the really old ones, that was it. There may have been, I think in MW2 was the first one to introduce, like, on most of the
Multiple.
guns, thermals and holographics.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you could only have one attachment or you could have bling and have two attachments. And yeah, it was usually suppressor red dot,
Yeah.
like all the time,
Mhm.
or suppressor and FMJ. But yeah, now you could go and throw on a whole bunch of them. It
Mhm.
is weird how Call of Duty has changed in that aspect. I think
Mhm.
it was better back then, if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird too because in that game, using a silencer, it benefited you, like, a ton. But now, like, I'm going back, like, if I went back and played this game, am I just good at a better player now than I am before to where I can get rid of this and I'm, like, aware of where everyone is, so I don't need this at all, which, that's probably, like, a fair argument because, like, we don't use silencers at all, and we'll still go on, long kill streaks, but that's
Right.
just because we're more aware of where people are spawning and, coming at us from.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. I think it would be weird for me to go back and play those games without using a suppressor
I know, yeah,
because I
yeah,
used it for
yeah.
so long.
I heard the
Um,
MP7 shoot, and I'm like, "That doesn't sound like the weapon that I use because I always had the silencer on it. You hear the
right, right. Yeah,
yeah,
I think about that with the ACR too. It's the same thing. It's
yeah,
like all of them were like that.
and they ripped.
Um, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the ACR was a absolute laser beam, like
Yeah.
all those guns were. Um,
I would
but
argue the weapons now are a little more laser beams though, because you actually had to hit
oh
your
yeah,
shots.
yeah. No, no, no doubt. Like
Mhm.
it's way easier now, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think I'm way better of a player now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, no lie, I haven't played COD. I hadn't played COD in like maybe like a week and a half.
Mhm.
Usually throughout the week I'll go and play. Like I'll always
Mhm.
go on and I'll play like not every day, but I'll go and play for a couple of days. But I took a break because on it, no lie, it was some download that I had to do, and it just wouldn't let me download because I had to delete some game.
No space.
And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, right. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me go finish this game first, and then I'll delete it,
Mhm.
and then I'll go and download COD. And I played last night. Dude, hands felt strange, but going
Mhm.
back to it though, I was like, "Oh yeah, I still got this. Like, there's no
Yeah.
problem. Like, I know, I still know the spawns. I still like have
Mhm.
all the awareness." And yeah, did I have that when I was 13, 14 playing MW3? I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
I think
I
I was dumb.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we all were. Like, we were
Yeah, I
just
was just
running around.
cracked.
Yeah. Like, I think we had hindsight, I think we sorta knew what was happening in the game when we were playing.
Yeah.
Uh, also too, like, we didn't really play that much objective, um, based modes. I like
Oh, we just played Kill Confirmed.
yeah, kill confirmed. I think we hopped into search every now and then, but
Mhm.
that was really it. So,
Right.
I mean, we sort of knew what spawns were and, like, what was happening, but yeah. If I went back and played my old self in that game, like, that guy would get smoked.
I think so too. I think it and it would probably just be because of awareness and positioning. Like, I
Yeah.
would just play more
My
tactfully.
my angle responsibility.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
always I'll
exactly.
hold my irons because now I'm like, I don't need to just, like, run and jump around this corner because I know that person's there. Because I
Yeah.
know that person's gonna come at me anyway, so what's the point of doing it when that person's already gonna engage at me?
Right. Like I see this clip, it comes up every once in a while on Mission. Like, on the top of Mission where there were like all the like broken buildings and there was that like downhill little alleyway in the middle,
Yeah.
where they would all funnel from spawn. And I saw some clip of this guy throwing a C4 out there and getting like, a 4 on with it.
Mhm.
And I remember doing that back in the day. But
Mhm.
now I'm like, man, when was the last time I ever used like a C4 or a
A C4.
Claymore in Call of Duty?
They're not the
Like,
same anymore because you need
no.
2 to kill the person for the
Yeah.
most part. Like, the C4, you could throw that double press square, immediately explodes. You can't
Dude,
do that now.
how fucking crazy was that? You
I
think about
know,
what that
yeah.
looks like in real life. This guy's just
Yeah.
throwing out
Yeah.
these bombs and then just flicking a switch, killing everybody.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm pretty sure now you have to wait for it to, like, land, and
yeah,
then it's a slight delay, it blows up, and usually everyone has flak on, so
yeah. It's
not
not
worth
even
it.
it's
No,
not worth it.
they won't know. The people now that didn't play back then, they don't know you're on a kill streak, C4 out of nowhere.
Right, right, right. Or Dead Man's Hand or some
Yeah.
BS like that. Yeah, dude, I there definitely was a golden era of Call of Duty for sure.
Mhm.
That when I see people that started on MW 2019 and stuff, I cringe because I'm like, shit, I'm getting old. But
Mhm.
also too, yeah, they really did miss like the prime time of Call of Duty. Like playing back in the Black Ops 1, MW3, Black Ops 2 realm, that was just the best.
Mhm.
And I would say even like into the Ghost realm, like it goes on for quite a bit. But I don't really know when it ended, but that like those span
Yeah.
of 4 CODs, like up to maybe, I don't know, maybe up to like Advanced Warfare,
I think
you know?
when Advanced Warfare came out, I think that's when a lot of people started shifting towards the idea of, like, what is COD doing? Like,
Right.
it's getting bad, but people still played it. And then it slowly got worse and worse and worse, and, that they started losing more and more Call of Duty players.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that's definitely when it was too, but yeah, that's really sick that they're doing that though for MW3. I'm glad they put all those hours in for it to get shut down in probably like
yeah.
72 hours. But
Well,
I'll
I
go
mean,
and I'll
yeah.
go check it out. I
Well,
hope it stays.
yeah, I mean, it'll get shut down quick. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, it's blowing up on social media right now, so because everyone's having fun on it. So
right.
it's only a matter of time they get like a letter from Activision's like, shut this down now,
Cease
or you're
and
getting hit with a
desist.
lawsuit.
Yeah. But dude, I
Fight
just
that lawsuit, man.
I know, right? They're gonna go, yeah, get some
Multi-million-dollar.
they're gonna get some like what's that website, or is it not Offer Up, but it's like where you can go and hire people to do something. What
Oh,
isn't there what's that
what is?
site called? I forget. But bro, they're just gonna go
Yeah,
on there and hire a couple of lawyers, just try to fight the whole case for them against
yeah,
Activision. But dude, Activision needs to they need to see it. It's like,
yeah.
man, look at all these people loving this game and
Hmm.
wanting to play it. Like, dude, put some money and resources into like a full-on remaster of this game and put it out. Like, why don't you
Hmm.
just do what they're doing? You could bang it out way faster than them, and you
Yeah.
could charge people 30-40 bucks for this game and people would buy it like crazy,
Hmm.
you know?
I mean, yeah, they probably see that and they're like, can't do anything yet.
Yeah, it's like I mean, of course they don't do it because they don't want to take away from the current COD that's being played. Like,
Hmm.
that's really what it is. But man, if Activision is all just about money and that's what it seems like they are at times, dude, that would be a great move. Like, There's
Mhm.
gonna be the people who, of course, stick to Black Ops 6, but then there's gonna be the people who play both, you know? I would be
Mhm.
one of those people. Like, I would
Yeah.
still do play BO6, but
Mhm.
I would for sure buy that remaster. Like, why not? Just to tool around on it from time to time?
Yeah. I think part of it too, honestly, is like even if it is all about, the bottom line for them,
Mhm.
if they made another like they remastered an older COD, they'd much I don't know, I'm making this up, but maybe they're thinking we've already gone through that demographic of gamers.
Yep.
They're in the past now. It's okay if we lose them because there's a new generation of gamers that we're going to capitalize on, and it's a bigger population now. So they're fine risking. All right, well, we don't need to spend money on remastering, uh, one of these older games, and
Right.
it's the core, like one of the core memories for growing COD for so many fans. But they're like, that was back then. They're done and dusted now. We got new players, new opportunities. Like they're not gonna do it for the fans. If they did that, like for the old heads, that'd be great. But they're not gonna. Yeah,
Yeah, bro, they gave up on us, dude.
because
They
we're old
think
now.
Yeah, dude, they think
They're
we're all out here not gaming anymore. I'm like, "Dude, I'm 27, I'm still buying your stupid ass game. I'm still every year
yeah,
I'm buying
right.
it, you know?" And I'm like, "It ain't stopping anytime soon."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I like, young people be like you say young people, younger people who be watching this who'd never played those games, I wonder if there would be interest. People who've never
Mhm.
played MW3 before, would they look at it and be like, "Well, I kinda wanna give it a shot." Like, I've
Yeah.
heard about this game, um,
I
but I don't know anything about it. Let's try it out.
so I think they would try it, but
Yeah.
they would hate it. It would be
Mm.
so
Yeah.
slow
I
compared
think
to
you're
what's
right.
happening now. It's not enough crackness for these
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
It's
I
easy
think
for us because we can go back because we've played through it, but I feel like if you got into COD during 2019 and you only know tax sprint and just
Oh,
speed,
yeah,
you
forget it.
cannot go back and play the old ones.
No, no, you can't at all. Dude, even watching those old games, like again, I haven't watched the MW3 one yet, but watching like Black Ops 2 clips, when you see that game, it's like, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
glacial.
Mhm.
It is so slow. Um, but at the time it seemed fast,
Mhm.
you know. It's strange how that works. I've gotten used to it. I can't even imagine going back and playing those games, how odd it would feel.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
but you have to iron up way more. But see,
right.
that's like the good thing about it because you have to be more strategic about your gunfights.
Right, right,
Whereas in this, you can out movement someone and you don't pull your weapon up right away and you're ADSing. I know like everybody had those moments where you shoot first and you still die somehow. And
right,
it's
right.
because of, stuff like that. In the old games, it's very hard to lose a gunfight when you're ironing first and you get your first shots in and you hit them.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Um, yeah, and I think back, dude, going back on that game after playing, uh, all the CODs we've been playing in recent years, I don't think it'd be that difficult for us to get that feeling back, you
No,
know?
I think we'd be fine. I mean, I think if you've played back then, you'd be perfectly fine. But if you've never played those older CODs, it would be hard to adjust. I mean, eventually you would, right? But it's definitely a lot easier to go from like a slower pace game to a fast paced game
Right, right.
if
I think
if
so
you're keeping
too.
up with it. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people fell off, obviously.
right. I think it would be way easier to, like, again, to make that transition, and also too for us, like, we know what to expect. You
Hmm.
know? Like, we played those games for years, so we have that, like, it is stored somewhere in us to go back and play that way. But for new people, it would just be like another COD trying to learn it, except it would be a complete 180 from what they're playing right now.
Hmm.
I think it would be an insane jump for a lot of, like, new players who never played those games.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, I wonder how long it's going to take for Activision to just shut that down, but I'm sure some good clips are going to come out of it while it's up for the maybe
Some
week.
The 360 interventions, sniping clips and all that stuff, the sniping montages will
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back because of it. Yeah, it'll be cool for sure.
Yeah.
But
But
what
yeah,
are you gonna
those
say, Sam?
were I was going to say like those are a couple rumors that are happening for like the next couple CODs, but you mentioned earlier, we're going into Major 4 now, which is
Yes, sir.
insane. So this is at DreamHack, and we're gonna go through the bracket here. I'm gonna pull it up, but this is gonna be like a fun major because there's a chance that that 8th spot, OpTic's like barely holding on to it.
Hmm.
So a lot of things could happen, which is kind of insane. I do wish the standings were a little bit closer though, because I think in previous years we've definitely had closer standings, like going into the last major. I'm talking like that 8th spot, and there's 4 teams within 10 to 20 points of each other.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull the
So
bracket up here.
yeah, and while you're pulling that up, so right now, like Boston, obviously we made it in at 7th. We got 200 points. Like we're all set, which is nice. And then Optic is at that 8th spot with 175. Um, Rockers at 135 and Cloud9's at 125. Um, they're still gonna need to have like a good run in
Yeah.
order to actually pull this off.
Hmm.
Um, and it's weird because Optic, I don't really know what to think of them going into this major. It's really odd. We talked about it with Mercules, like he's done a lot for the team and he's, looks really, really good. Um, but then they went and played they played LAG and they lost to them for the like I think it was the first time in 3 years or so that they ended up losing to them. Like what back when they were the Huntsmen,
Yeah.
from what I saw was the last time they lost them, which is disgusting.
Hmm.
Um, and then they went and played Toronto, and everyone was thinking, like myself included, I'm like, yeah, Optic's going to get fried on that one. And they smoked them, 3-0'd them,
Hmm.
made it look pretty easy. So I have no idea what to think of that team. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
going to be up at the top. Like you said, there's a good chance they don't get, or that they can get first rounded, double first rounded in both these.
Hmm.
But it's honestly a coin flip because looking at this right now, yeah, you got Optic and Ultra, the rematch from what they just did.
Hmm.
Most people would pick Optic, but who knows what version we're gonna get of him.
Yeah, I know it's weird because honestly though, I do think that LAG one against Optic was just a random fluke because
I think
I
so
mean,
too.
well, LAG, what? They're not really playing for anything anymore. They're playing for their spot at EWC to stay on the roster. Like,
Right.
um, so yeah, I mean, it went to what? I'm at 5, and they
Mhm.
lost the search, but this was like Optic nearly losing to the Falcons before they're what the Falcons are now.
Right.
So I don't know, but I personally don't put too much stock into that loss. It looks horrible. Yeah, it's horrendous, but it doesn't change anything for LAG, but LAG might have spoiled Optic's chances of making champs if they get eliminated right away,
Right.
which that would be nuts. Imagine like you just tie it all
The
back. It was
hindsight.
because of that one series. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah, just because they blew it on that one day. So I hope that
yeah.
doesn't happen for them, but because that would
Yeah.
just be impossible to swallow. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. What you want to start from the winners then, and we'll go down and kind of
Yeah.
make our predictions here.
Yeah. So,
Heretics rocker, bro.
this one's interesting, right? Cuz like we should so this first bracket, like we won't go too in depth with it, but we should make the bracket that we think, is actually going to happen, and then the second bracket we can make what we want to happen for
Right.
storyline, for the plot. um but dude, honestly, I have a feeling Heretics, they look really really good. Dude, this one's hard because I could see Rocker winning this too, but Miami's been looking a lot
I
better.
don't know. I mean, I tell you, man, I think that Miami wins this no problem.
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
yeah, I think they take this, but I do hear you though. Like Rockers,
yeah.
like it's a weird deal. They could maybe pull this together all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Um,
because
but who knows?
we're gonna put Rocker for the one that we want. I don't.
Right.
I just have a weird feeling about Rocker, like this event. But on paper, Heretics are most likely the ones winning. So
Yeah, I want again for the second bracket of like what I want to happen. It
yeah,
would be great for Rocker to win
yeah,
it. But I think in reality, I think Miami just looks way too strong of a team.
Yeah.
They looked unbelievable at the last major,
Mhm.
and didn't they go? They went 5-0, right? This entire split, they didn't lose to any teams.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that
it's
could be a bad thing because
well,
Thieves also went
yes, that
undefeated,
is
so they might
true.
choke.
Yeah,
But I'll answer here. Thieves will win this because Surge cannot beat Thieves.
but you watch, Justin, you watch.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, Surge, they pull it off. I don't
they
think it's
could.
gonna happen, but
Yeah. I
um,
mean, they might go up 2-0 again and then get reversed. So
right, it could definitely happen.
Thieves
Um,
they've done it too many times to Surge. I think these match up so well with Surge, and they're always just gonna win. Maybe there's gonna be like that one off where they do just lose, but if they lose, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a map 5.
yeah, Thieves just has a mental edge over Surge for sure.
Mhm.
But if they are gonna sort it out, I mean, this is honestly kind of a low, I didn't say low pressure, but it's not like they're playing for everything right now. If one of those teams
Yeah,
lose,
yeah.
like then they got to go and make the losers run, which both those teams definitely can.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it'll be a big momentum shift for whoever ends up. Like Thieves, not really. I think they're just going to take care of business. But if Surge wins that, that'll be a huge confidence boost for them.
Yeah. No, definitely. Uh FaZe Cloud9. I think we both
Come
are
on,
in.
next.
Yeah.
GG's go next.
Yep.
Yeah, ain't no chance Cloud9 is going to win against FaZe on that. I just
Mhm.
can't see. I mean, FaZe this whole time they've been looking a little iffy.
Mhm.
I know. I think it was their hard points were like the real thing that people were bringing into question.
Mhm.
But I mean, man, you really can't go against these guys. They're
Yeah.
just way too good. Selling yesterday when he was playing it. What was it, yesterday or the day before? It was absolutely ridiculous. Um, yeah,
Dude,
you gotta
remember
go
the
with
beginning of
FaZe.
this season? People were like, "Yo, we gotta drop him."
Yeah, bro.
Like that, it was a
Morons.
serious conversations of people saying, "Drop Celium because he's playing so bad," and now
Yeah,
he's like a top 5 player
yeah.
in this
No,
game.
no, dude.
Um, yeah,
They're dumb. They're
yeah,
dumb. They were
yep,
proven wrong,
yeah,
and now they're no one's gonna say anything to them because they're not
hmm
even gonna bother. But yeah, they were complete morons with that one.
yeah,
Yeah, Salium is like anybody would kiss the ground that he walks on and try to pay as much money as they can to get him.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
All right,
I think they win that pretty handily.
this one, Optic Ultra, is very interesting. So
Yes.
I'm gonna go and say it. I personally think Optic's winning this because I think Merc is just gonna come out and he's playing his old team, which is insane. Like how the bracket just worked out that they're playing Ultra. Like, can you imagine Optic knocks Ultra out after them getting rid of Merc?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, they beat Ultra already, and Merc won a 1v1 against Beans. Well, technically not 1v1 because he defused a bomb, but he
Right.
outplayed him.
Yeah, I did see that. That was sick. I love this matchup just because again, I think Ultra is gonna I think they're gonna regret getting rid of Mercules and letting him go to Optic. Like Beans is great. Like he's a good player, but
hmm
though I think from what everyone's seeing right now, they can see that Mercules is definitely the better player.
hmm
And they could have built around him. Uh, so for that, I think, and I kind of want Optic to win this.
hmm
I obviously want them to go to champs, but I think this is going to be a close one. I think it would be Optic. They'll probably win it like a 3-1 victory.
hmm
Honestly, yeah, I could see it
Yeah.
being but a close 3-1 though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Optic's winning this too. I mean,
Yeah,
I do think this is gonna show that Ultra probably should have kept Merc, but we'll only see. I mean, based off of yesterday's matches, yeah, I mean Merc, they won. They 3-0 pretty easily. So we'll see.
but then you get like before you can go into the losers bracket, when you go and look at those
hmm
top matches there, Heretics and Thieves and FaZe and Optic.
hmm
Those are insane too. Like that FaZe Optic one again, I really would choose FaZe. Um,
hmm
I guess it all depends on how well Optic looks. Um, but I think it was Zuma that said it. pretty perfectly about OpTic. Like, they look good, or actually, no, it was Octane. But man, the other teams just have so much more reps and so much more
Mhm.
time together. And I think when you're starting to get into this upper caliber of teams like FaZe, like Thieves, and Surge, who have been playing together consistently all year, or like for Surge with that roster nearly all year,
Mhm.
um, it's just you can't catch up on that amount of time loss, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so I think even that FaZe OpTic match, like, it is such a great looking match, but I don't think it's gonna be that competitive personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Um, all right, you wanna move to, well, do you wanna just figure out the winners who's making it to winners finals
Yeah,
right now? 'Cause
let's do that
I
really
can
quick. Yeah, I
okay,
would
yeah,
say
yeah.
OpTic's gonna win, or OpTic's
Yeah.
gonna lose that. So
Yeah.
It'll be FaZe. Heretics and Thieves, though, is a good one, you
It is a
know?
good one,
But but yeah,
but yeah.
but it's gonna be that. I mean,
Alright,
come on.
to the elimination round.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really excited for that matchup. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, the boys.
I am not excited about this one, Justin.
I'm not either because 'cause I'm nervous,
I'm
whether
shitting
it's
myself.
Heretics or Rocker, because both teams have a chance of beating Breach. Now, I think I do think Breach, they definitely have, like, a good chance of beating Rocker. It's not like I'm completely worried about Rocker, but Rocker, they have the potential to, sweep. So, I personally think Breach will pull it out, but it's gonna be close. I can see it being very, very close between these 2.
Yeah, I think if Rocker beats Heretics and winners, we get first rounded. I don't see us
Mhm,
beating Heretics at all. But Rocker, I definitely can see us beating them. I think it's gonna go classic, like map 5, like Rocker does.
mhm.
And for the sake of the boys, I hope that Breach ends up
Breach.
pulling through. Um, because yeah, I mean, dude, they just I would hate to see them getting, like, they've dealt with this too many times this season, just getting
Mhm,
double first round and getting a bad hand.
mhm.
But you can't even make the excuse anymore of like being dealt a bad hand, because now you're talking about just the other mid tier teams that they're going to be
Yeah.
coming up against, and they're right
Yeah.
in there with them.
I mean,
So
statistically, this is a good hand for them, right? Like,
right.
you'd much rather play Rocker than Heretics and
Oh,
Losers, so,
100%.
I mean
100%. Um, yeah, I think again, if it's Miami, I think we're gonna go home. But if we play Rocker, I could definitely see us getting through that one. But
mhm.
then after that, bro,
Hold up,
that-
let me grab, the losers out of here.
yeah, because then after that, the next one talking about Surge and Falcons. Again, we don't even need to talk about that. Like, that team is
The
absolutely,
Falcons.
yeah, they're gonna 3-0, bro. Yeah, I mean, Falcons are just completely chalked.
Yeah,
I was gonna say before we move on to the next one there, do you think that Preston or Pristini, not Pristini, sorry, what am I thinking of?
Priesta.
Yeah, Preston
Yeah,
Priesta, right?
yeah.
Priesta and Arcides, do you think that they're done?
Dude, I don't know. Like, if you look at career-wise, right, like, they've been on the down for a couple years in a row now, right?
Oh yeah,
Especially Priesta. I mean, he just came off of probably his worst, career year ever, and I think last year he did better than this year, like,
right,
in terms
right,
of points, which is kinda
right.
insane. Like, he did worse. Um, so that would suck. I could see it. There's just so many variables, dude. Uh, like, going into the off season, like, buyouts of certain teams, like, will players wanna be playing with Priest or Arcides at this point after, they got their shot, and, I mean, dude, it's not like they're playing with nothing. They have Pred and Exton on the team, like, those are 2 capable subs, um, but I hope they're not, because then if they are, I could see, like, a huge shift in a lot of the old players retiring, and they're not gonna be there anymore. Like, the torch is completely handed to the new players, because It's not just Arcides or Priesta, it's attached to Slasher is there too. A lot of
Yeah, I
things
mean,
can happen.
right, and it will suck because just for us, who've been watching for so long to see those guys go, but man, there's a point where these guys, like you talk about, oh, they got to play in a certain system and play with a certain team.
Mhm,
Um, I don't really think that is much of an excuse anymore for a lot of these guys.
mhm,
And we see that with Mercules, dude. He played with Ultra and was arguably their best player. And now he's with OpTic, completely different players and team system, and he's arguably their best player. Like the guy's just that good.
mhm,
And if there's other talent out there that's like that, maybe not up to that level, but
mhm.
just players who are coming up and are going to be trying to take over those spots, yeah, you really can't afford any like, I mean, I say bad matches, but just playing terrible. I
Yeah,
mean, the
it's
Falcons, bro, have just they looked. You remember they looked good for like 2 matches, and then after that,
yeah,
everybody fell off. Like no
mhm,
one's hyped about
mhm.
Pred and Xnit anymore being
But, yeah,
a duo.
see, that's the thing, though, like, minus Extended because he's a rookie, but, like, you got Pred. Yeah, he was a guy that everybody wanted 2 years ago, and now people are like they've written him off, which is
Right,
kinda insane, like, you think about it, right? So, it's not like Arcees and Priest are playing with nothing, Like, these guys have, they have chips, a lot of them have a ton of chips. So,
right.
uh, it's just unfortunate. I think because of the format of, you know, the league, they probably will retire because do they wanna go through challengers again, or do they wanna end up on a bottom team if a team will sign them, and
Right.
then find, you know, other players, but we don't know. Now, I feel like if it wasn't just 12 pro teams and they expanded to, like, 16 or, you know, the top 12 are pros, and then from 12 to 32 or whatever, those are all, like, amateurs. Then I would see a reason why, like, they would play, you know what I mean? Because there's a
Yeah, yeah,
chance to,
yeah.
like, make top 12, but just the way the league's structured right now, it doesn't make sense, and also too, I'll point out, like, uh, people are always saying, there's new up and comers and, like, challengers and stuff, which I think is true, but, I mean, I don't watch challengers at all, so I don't really know, like, the big name players, but there have been also people saying that, "Dude, there's no one in challengers," which obviously, I think that is a fair argument. Like, yeah, we saw Merc come up. He was like a diamond in the rough, right? He just randomly came up and fried. But to that point, dude, we always see the same people that end up in challengers. They're always the ones stepping up, and then they're back in the league. Like Vivid's a prime example. That dude's in and out of the league all the time. Like he goes to challengers and he's just winning.
And now I worry that Skies is one of those players
Hmm.
because he's like obviously way better than all those other challengers players, and they always talk about the same challengers players right now. I remember Merc was asked about it, and I think he said Pro Loot was one guy
Yeah,
that needs to be picked up, and I forget who else he had
Standy.
mentioned, but
Standy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
again, former pros that are going to end up on mid to low tier teams more than likely,
Mhm.
and then not do well, roster change, they go
Mhm.
back down. It's like there's a real issue with the talent level at the bottom there because
Mhm.
again, if Arcides and those guys get dropped, I
Mhm.
mean, it's gonna be a call for them and they want to go back to challenges. Okay, they go and they grind out challenges again,
And they're
then they
yeah.
go back onto another shitty team.
Mhm.
Um, it's very strange, but
I think that's why I don't think we would be talking about these players like that though, because we know they're all good players, but I don't think we would be talking about them like that if it was only 12 teams.
very yeah.
Like
Hmm.
if it was 16 teams, 24 teams, 32 teams, then, what it was before, it would be perfectly fine, right? Like there's plenty of spots and
Yeah,
plenty competition. Uh but there's only so many spots you can like have in the league, right? And
right.
those guys will always, I mean, so far, right? They've always been the best players, like year to year. they're always at the top of challengers. It's former pros, like they were pros for a reason, and
Right.
now they're just going to get recycled through all the time. But if there were more teams, then maybe that wouldn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be like Arceus and Priest, and then two random challenger players, and like they're frying, and they could
Right.
make a run for like the top 16 spot or something like that, right? And then we wouldn't be talking about these guys like the way we are now. It's just so
Right.
hard with limited teams.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I do feel for them. I think those guys are still great players. They show those signs of being really good at times. But again, it's just like the nature of the league, like the way they have it set up now. There's
Hmm.
really not a lot of options. For one, there's not a lot of options for teams that you're going to be in because
Yeah.
there's such a drop off from the top to the bottom.
Hmm.
And those top guys aren't going anywhere. So you
Hmm.
have to really, really show out. The pressure is so high.
Hmm.
Um, so
Which is
I don't
why
know.
it's like if we went back to what it was before, I'm just saying, like, it's cool to see those top teams, like Thieves and FaZe, for example. They're always the top teams, right? It's cool to see those guys grind their way through those 32 teams. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the bottom teams will get practice against these guys, like in a tournament.
Mhm.
Um, and then you can clearly see the difference between a top 3 team in the league versus, a top 16 team that's like trying to break into the top 12. But
Right.
again, doesn't allow that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bigger conversation. We'll see what happens. But yeah, going back though, our season preset, unfortunately, I feel like probably they're gonna call it just because I do you really want to do that again? And also too, um, shout out Envoy because he's been talking a lot of shit lately, which I love. And he was like, people are saying there's talent in challengers, and he's like, there's not. But I said, there's no one. It's all the same people. Like we're just going through the same people, and guess what? They come in bad situation and they suck. And
Right.
he has like a couple people, like a handful of people. He was talking about Merc coming into the league, and he's like, yeah, that guy's really good. But again, he
That's
was
one guy.
it's one guy, yeah, and like you can clearly see how good he is. And Hydra was saying that, Hydra was another guy. No one knew. Like Scrap and Envoy were saying, I had no idea who you were, Paco. And then he came to the league, took over the league, right?
Right.
Again, so possibly something Merc is doing, right? And then even before Paco, it was like Simp. When Simp came into the league, he destroyed everyone.
Yeah.
So you're just finding these like diamonds randomly, right? But you know, hearing them say there's no one good in challengers, I'm like, I wonder if it's because obviously the format of the league and uh the former pros that are in challengers, obviously they're going to get picked up, right? Because they used to be a pro, but also are enough people like playing COD to that level, like trying to become a pro, you know what I mean? And like maybe there is, but they're just literally miles apart of a top amateur team, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think there is definitely like a skill issue that's gone on in recent years, but I also think it's really just down to um the system that they have in place there. These guys like I think they struggle with trying to make a decision if they're going to keep grinding this game out or if they're going to start working a job or have to go to high school or go to college. And I mean, man, if I were one of those people who was grinding out in challengers and wanted to get into the league, it's really demoralizing looking at the league and seeing if I do make it where I'm going to go more than
Mhm,
likely, unless you are that extreme case of someone who is an ultra talent. And I mean, you got to have that belief in you if you're going to be a competitor. But I have a feeling that there's a lot of those people that maybe don't have that, or if they do, they see where they would end up and they see where all the other guys like Pro Loot, like
mhm,
Standy, where they are like our cities and Priesta right now and Skies, where they all end up. And it's pretty much just the same story.
mhm,
And you have to be better than those guys
Yeah.
and have more star power than them to try to get ahead of line in them, you
Mhm.
know? If there's any challenges players are gonna get picked up now, it's probably gonna be former pros,
Yeah, yeah.
more than likely, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
all
mean
the other guys in there who are grinding, they may be doing okay,
mhm,
but will they ever get picked up over those guys because of the connections and just, like, knowing what they can do since they
mhm.
played in a pro league? Probably not.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. I obviously, right, there's other factors that go into it. People have said that, well, these former pros are getting picked up because, friendship league connections, right? But also, like, they've been in the league before for a reason. You can also argue, well, there's a reason why they got dropped out of the league too. But um, I'd imagine, I don't know if this will be a good team or not, but if you take like Skies, Standy, Pro Loot, and then Priesta on a team, honestly, that's probably a bad team on paper. But I bet if you took those four against, I don't know, like a top 16 amateur team, they're winning, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like there are a couple world champs on that team.
And it's the
Uh,
same thing with Falcons too. Like they get smoked in the pro league, but if they played any AM team, I'm sure they'd win. You know, those guys are still that good.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
So it's like you said. I think it is obviously like a skill gap, skill
yeah,
issue, but yeah, I mean, if you're an up and coming pro, it's just you have to know that you're better than these players.
right,
Like Hydra came into a situation where he was on the subliners. They were shit,
right,
dude. They were so bad, and then but he shined in every match. Like everyone saw
right,
him shine. And then Scrap, I mean, he joined like a pretty good team, Ultra, right away. But even on that team, like he shined as the best player on that team, like clearly the best player on that team,
right.
and he
Well,
outshined Kleenex.
well, and that's what like that's what you're seeing right now with with Cloud9. Like moving on to that team, like ever since they brought in what's his name, Capsule and who's the other guy I'm thinking of? Why am I
Spark.
blanking on his name? Yes, and Spart. When they brought them in, that team has gotten so much better. Those two are definitely like the standout players who came
Hmm.
in, from challengers and have been doing well. And again, they are once like we said before, they're recycled pros.
Hmm.
Yep, that's the only right answer there.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
like, you
Sorry,
know,
Kiz.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gone though. But um, yeah, it's gonna be a big move for a lot of these teams going forward because I mean, like I think of Ravens in the same boat. Uh,
I'll make
that
this
guy,
decision.
yeah, right. Just okay, go ahead and do that quickly. Like, Ravens is gonna have a lot of moves to make over the offseason. They gotta figure out if they're gonna
Mhm.
keep that team together or not. Um,
No, dude,
and
blow that
I
shit
mean,
up.
yeah, absolutely not. I mean, I think you get rid of everybody on
You,
that team. Maybe like you don't get rid of a Gwyn and Dylan Rex or
hmm
one of those guys you keep.
hmm
But yeah, I hope next year some of these teams take more of a chance like on challengers
hmm
players or just, not even just challengers, but, you call them challengers players, but those former pros
Yeah,
that
yeah,
people have been talking about to see how good they really are,
yeah.
and actually give some thought behind these teams instead of just finding random ass people and throwing them together and hoping it sticks.
hmm
Like I hope there's an actual strategy with putting these teams together because
hmm
I think it'll help them a lot.
Yeah, I think the strategy is all right. Here are the top players. You have these players. Who do you want to play with? And they just pick someone.
Right.
Unless I mean, you're a FaZe or Thieves, or like you just have cash to get whoever you want. And the
Right,
brand.
right, right.
But do you think Carolina would be better if the whole Vivid situation didn't happen?
I mean, I'm just saying.
I I,
They
I think
they
they
drop Reese Vivid
yeah
and then it all goes downhill for them, you know?
yeah
Like I think you can go and blame that guy Chris Puckett. I think he's the one who
yeah.
totally he ruined it because he goes and asks Tej on, on the
Insane
air.
question.
Yeah, and a federal question
Yeah.
and he's like, "What? No, everything's fine." And I think that totally threw him. Um
Mhm.
Nah, I mean, look, hindsight, right? They were doing really good with him.
Mhm.
Who knows what that team would have looked like if they all stuck it out?
Yeah, yeah.
I have a feeling they would have continued to regress. Because even Dylan Rex looks good on that team. Like he's a
Mhm.
good player. Um, he's not really costing them or anything. It's just like it's all the other guys on that team. I don't know what the hell happened to them. I don't know if it's their
Yeah.
system or what, but
I think it's
um,
honestly, I think they peaked really early in the league, and
oh, for sure.
all the other teams just, they caught up, and their ceiling's a lot higher than this team, so it just didn't work out for them. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. Obviously, that team's gonna go through a change. Like if you listen to any of their comms, they sound like they don't even want to play anymore. And Slasher, like he doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, they were like right at the top trying to, break into the
Mhm,
Thieves and FaZe realm, and now they're down at the bottom scrapping it out like we've always known with that Royal Ravens brand.
mhm.
Um, it's pretty sad, but
Which is a shame too, because I mean, people will argue now, well, like the Ravens shouldn't even be they shouldn't even be making it to champs because they look so bad right now. But I mean, they got all those points at the beginning for a reason. Like they're just ahead during the season. That's what happens, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they just made a big enough lead to where obviously they're losing a lot now that it doesn't hurt them as much, right? But
Mhm.
you could easily argue that, C9 looks better than the Ravens and they
Right.
deserve a spot in the league. No, they don't because they didn't make a roster change until like now. So that's,
Right.
if they made it earlier, who knows what could have happened, right? So
Yeah. Very true.
that that's just what happened. But anyways, let's go to Breach Surge. Sorry, the boys are probably getting eliminated at this point.
They're losing
Uh
that.
Yeah, like again, this is another matchup where Surge just always has them for
Yeah.
whatever reason. Like they've kept it very close with them at times, or they get blown out. So
Yeah, and I think the gap unfortunately has just gotten bigger and bigger between them. I think it would have been easier to say it's going to be a really close match, or there's a real good chance Breach could do it. But um, yeah, I think at this point, Surge has just clearly shown that they're there at the top and they're going to be there to stay.
if yeah, if
Yeah, so
Breach was
I think it'd be them.
dominating games like this qualifier, then I think you could like definitely argue that they can compete with Surge at like a pretty high level, but they did either they smoked teams or they just got 3-0'd the
Right,
split. So,
right.
all right, C9 Ultra. So this one's interesting, but
Ultra,
I think Ultra's just gonna come out with it. Yeah.
ultra,
I could
all
see
day.
C9 potentially winning just because of the factor like having Cap and Spart on the team,
Hmm.
you know, and obviously Sib. Like Sib just he could just pop off at
Yeah,
any point. So, but no, I think Cap and Sparta are those like X factors. They're going into their first ever major like as a team playing on land, so it could change things.
yeah, I think so too. C9 again for the storybooks, like you hope that they would make they would win that match, but Ultra is just throughout the whole season they've looked like the better team.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. These next matches though, uh, Optic Surge. I think that's where OpTic calls it wraps again, bro. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
lose it there.
Hmm.
Uh, I want to say no chance they beat Surge, but
There's always a
who
chance. I think.
there's yeah, exactly. There's always a chance, but I think it's gonna be that.
Yeah, I wouldn't count them out like completely. Like I don't think it's a 50-50, coin flip, but
Right.
you know, like if Optic beat Surge, I wouldn't be surprised, you know.
No, I wouldn't either. I think
Um
it could happen.
yeah,
But again, it all depends on what kind of optic that we get. If we're thinking about
exactly.
the optic that we've had,
Yeah.
Surge is winning that, no doubt.
Yeah. Like I'd be surprised if Optic won 3-0 against them and the
Oh
3-0
yeah.
was a very convincing 3-0.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
But yeah, so Heretics Ultra, this was kind of tough cuz Heretics they've made like a deep run at every major they've been at so far. So, like, is this their major? Are they making it against Ultra?
I th- I think
The
heretics win this.
oh shoot.
You asked me, I
Yeah.
think heretics
You
take
know,
it.
I think Heretics win too, just because like Ultra had that insane run with Merc.
Yeah.
Like they made top well, it was top 3 with Merc. They haven't made top 3 with Beans.
Do you think Beans is he's gonna be the one that cost them, bro? Can you imagine? He
I'm not gonna
plays
say
like
he's gonna be the
dog.
one that costs them, but
He plays
if
like dog.
dude, if he does, then that just looks really bad on him, you know? And then it looks bad on Ultra too, like because they got rid of Merc.
Right, right.
But it also I do appreciate the loyalty of them. Like Beans is a good player, like that dude fries, and he
Oh
helped
yeah, he's
Boston
really
out a
good,
ton.
no doubt,
But
no doubt.
it would suck seeing him go into this and like he just gets cooked at the event.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um, yeah, I hope that doesn't happen for his sake, but
yeah,
I
but
think
I do.
at the end of
Yeah.
the day, dude, like again with the 5-0 that Heretics have been having, and just overall, they've
Hmm.
been looking so good. Um, I just like it's really hard to bet against them throughout this. Like it's only this matchup right here where it gets very difficult for me.
These FaZe, dude. Honestly, this could be a coin flip. Like I'm gonna say FaZe wins this just because
Damn.
it's FaZe. I think they win and they make it to grand finals from winners.
See, is where I think you're crazy, bro. I think that Thieves win this one. I think they got this.
You think they
I'm
win it?
kidding. I mean, again, bro, I'm kidding. It's a
It
complete
is.
coin flip with these teams. I really like. I don't think there's any right or wrong with
Yeah.
them. As to how you predict it.
Hmm.
It's been the same story all season. They've just. It really depends on what version of FaZe you get and
Hmm.
what version of Thieves you get.
Exactly.
Um,
The
I'm still dying for that Major 1 recap. Like I want that match and that
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
energy again.
So I give FaZe the edge just because Thieves went undefeated. It's cursed. I'm telling you. If you go 5-0 in the split, it hurts you.
Mhm.
um and two, FaZe got eliminated early last event, so I think they're going to come out, very well prepared and going into this event. So again, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I think FaZe makes it to the championship, and then
From winners, yeah, I see it too.
oh, yeah,
And then Thieves is gonna go there, and then you want to do us all a favor, real quick? Copy paste them back at Championship Sunday, probably.
yeah, yeah. I can,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
That's gonna be, yeah. I think every major we've had
it's been this.
same teams. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, bro. Well, I mean,
I
again,
mean,
that's what are you gonna do? Like,
I know exactly. Yeah, it
do you
is.
want us to go and say, dude, I think Surge is gonna go and
Oh,
beat
well,
Thieves
that's what the
finally in the
second
losers
bracket's
final?
for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
yeah.
This is the reality
That's
bracket, and the second one is the fantasy bracket.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I
So
think between the Surge and Heretics, though, I this is really just the matchup. I think it's the FaZe and Thieves for third place, right?
yeah,
Like,
dude. So yeah, I think Miami is gonna push it. I think this is their event to finally make it to almost get into the championship.
I think so too. I think yeah, man, I don't know. I want it. My heart wants Heretics to win that, and I also do think that they can absolutely win that.
Yeah.
That's one of the few matches that's that's a really tough one to predict. It's
Hmm.
like that one, and then same thing with Heretics and Ultra, because those teams can really push it. Like with Ultra, it depends on what kind of Joe Deceives you get, you know,
Hmm.
and then same thing with Heretics as well. Like, if all those guys are firing, like, if Lucky's doing his thing,
Not
that
lucky. He's
no,
lucky
no,
got
no,
benched.
Lucky. No, what's the guy's
Super.
name? Super. I always
Yeah.
get him mixed up, bro. Thank you. Yeah, if Super's doing his thing, Lucky ain't doing shit.
Yeah. I mean, and
Then that
Super's been
they could do
frying
well.
too. I think if Metals just has to fry as a sub on Heretics
Yeah.
against her, like he has to keep up with Neptune, which I mean, I think it's possible, obviously. And then Rencor is probably like a runner up for like rookie of the year. So if that guy does his thing too, like they're good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think Heretics will do it
But
because
if that's
I
where
think
they end up
Heretics.
placing, it's good for
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think Heretics and Thieves, we haven't really seen that matchup like too often. Um, I mean, obviously we saw it in our bracket, right? We're gonna see it here most likely. Um, it'll be a good matchup because every time we've seen Thieves versus Surge, Surge just chokes. You know, they can't beat Thieves. So,
Right.
so yeah. And then championship. Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong either way. Former champions, also former champions.
I
I'm
got
good.
FaZe.
Yeah, I'm calling phase two.
Mm.
Um, nothing against these. Just I don't think you can just see. Well, this just sounds bad because like I'm not counting out thieves either, but these got their chip.
But think about how good this would be, though, right? If Thieves go and win this, and now they go back to back,
That would be
and
cool
then we
too.
go
That's a
in, and
storyline.
then we go into champs, and then we've got two teams that have gone back to back.
Hmm.
And FaZe will still say that they've gone back to back to back.
Yeah.
Um, but it would be that would be a cool storyline, just seeing two teams that are so evenly matched. Because
Hmm.
yeah, if FaZe wins this. I mean, yeah, they've won what, three of the four majors.
Hmm.
Pretty much dominated on the year. Um, so I don't know, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling because FaZe did poorly in Major 3 that, like you said earlier, they're gonna come out with vengeance and they're gonna
Hmm.
wanna try to win the whole thing. Um, and I think they will, but it all depends with FaZe on their hard points. That's
Yeah.
like their main struggle. And
Hmm.
Thieves, their control is so disgusting.
Hmm.
Um, so if Thieves goes and takes a hard point on FaZe, I mean, it's gonna be really difficult for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think yeah, I think FaZe is just gonna do exactly what you said. They didn't show up major three, and they're going to come prepared this time, especially against Thieves too. And I mean, that's what happened with Thieves, right? In Major 2, they weren't prepared. And then they came into Major 3 and they got
Right.
the job done. So
Mhm.
again, like I think both storylines would be good. Uh I think FaZe winning though, yeah, you can say they're on paper they're the most dominant team like this year, winning 3 out of the 4 events, right? But I think that's a deceiving like 3 out of the 4 though. You know what I mean? Like if it happens because the Thieves are just so close to them. And obviously they've won a major already and I think the only defining year for FaZe where like they just ran shit was Cold War. Like it just wasn't close to any other team um when they're winning that year.
Yeah, I mean, this has definitely been a dominant year from FaZe and Thieves.
Yeah,
Like it's a
yeah.
combined effort. They
Yeah.
ran the show. Nobody really all year could
Mhm.
consistently get near them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Barring Surge. Surge is the only team that's come close to getting there.
But
But
not
even
close
still,
enough.
exactly, not close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think looking back on this prediction, I think it's pretty fair. I think everything
Yeah.
in here, there's nothing insane in here.
Yeah.
Even us, like, again, being Breach fans, um, we're not in the realm of idiocracy. Like, we think that, yeah, they could definitely beat Rocker, but
Mhm.
Surge, that's a real slim fight against them.
Yeah. Like
Um,
if there's uh somewhere breached like how far their or how high their ceiling is in this major is I could see them yeah, if they beat Surge, I think they're beating OpTic, but as soon as they make it to here, they're losing.
yeah,
Um they
absolutely.
just they just, you know, it's so hard to match up against Heretics. So,
Yeah,
I think that's as far as that they will go. But so, I mean, you guys let us know. Who do you think's going to win? Do you think FaZe is winning or Thieves, or do you think the Falcons are winning? I
right.
mean, are we faded for thinking FaZe is winning? Who knows?
Nah, no, no,
But
no, no,
no,
no.
no. I mean,
If you
we'll
have
see.
anybody else other than FaZe and Thieves winning, you're
Yeah, yeah,
fading.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're like, this
Every
is the time Surge pulls it together. Shut the hell up. It
yeah,
ain't happening.
every bracket we've had so far is FaZe Thieves, and I think that's
Yeah.
everyone's bracket too. You know,
Yeah.
like
It has to be.
the only way
There
Surge win is if again, like they just come out and like they're locked in. Like that's the only team that can come out, or maybe Heretics too, but come out and be like, you know what, we're clutching up, we're winning everything. Um,
right.
But all right, let's go into the fun one because again, we are Breach fans, but we got to be like not completely delusional here, right? So, um, what are we thinking here? We'll like speed run this because I know this episode's getting long for everyone. But all right, Heretics Rocker. So my thing here, I'm saying Rocker's winning this because I do think there is a world where Heretics just starts off super slow.
Yeah, for sure. It could definitely happen.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, Kenny could all of a sudden just have an absolute superstar series.
And this is a
Um,
run that he needs. They need to
yeah,
win these.
yeah, exactly. I hope he makes like making the most of it, starting off in winners. Like
Hmm.
he didn't get dealt the hand of Thieves and FaZe.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Um, Thieves and Surge, that's still the same though, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
going anywhere. That's set in stone.
Thieves. Yeah.
FaZe Cloud9, you all of a sudden hope that Celium and all these guys, they got COVID. They can't
Yeah.
play anymore.
Yeah.
Cloud9 steps up. The Optic Ultra though,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, you could definitely see like on the other side of this, Ultra beating them. And
Yeah.
I think they could. Uh Again, I don't know if I really want them to because I don't know what the hell I want for the story here.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah. I don't. But
you know,
it is very realistic that Ultra can like they would beat Optic. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it can go
totally.
both ways here. Like
It
Beans is
totally is.
can shit talk Merc and be like, this is why they kept me. You
Right.
know?
Well, if he did that, that would be catastrophic. I mean, that would just be so bad. Like, I can't
Yeah.
even imagine, bro. Hex would be beside himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a real possibility.
Hmm.
Heretics Rocker though,
So this would be it would
that
be
would be
Heretics
Heretics and
Breach.
Breach. Yeah,
This
that's
is a
coming to a close real quick for the Breach boys.
yeah.
R.I.P. I'm sorry, ain't
Again,
happening.
we want to. We'd much rather face Rocker than
But
Heretics.
but think about this though, right? Like once you have Surge and Falcons
Hmm.
down there at the bottom, like, and then you get the Surge Heretics match, dude, that's a really good matchup, like right off the bat that you're getting.
Yeah.
Like a big team could go home already.
Yeah. Uh, this one's still gonna be C9.
Yeah, of course. I don't think what's the who, is it Johnny on that team who had an absolutely
Yeah. Dude
insane
dropped
match.
42 kills.
Yeah, like he needs to have another one of those
Yeah.
to pull it off against Cloud9. Um, yeah, bro, Ravens, they ain't ever
Yeah, they're not.
winning. I think
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. I what a again, we said it already, but dude, what a fall from grace. That team was always like. I want to go back and look at our other brackets to see where we had Carolina and like
Dude,
Major
they're a
Two.
top 14
Yeah, yeah, we were probably like, "Dude,
with
I think they're gonna
Vivid.
make it." Yeah, exactly, to, like, losers finals, like, they're
Yeah.
gonna get right there. Um,
That guy Reese, man. I
but now
swear, he's a catalyst for a lot of teams. And then when they let him
bro.
go, it's tough.
Yeah, dude, he's not the flashiest player, he's not the greatest player in the world, but he's like a playmaker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't know how good he is until you get rid of him, and then you're like, "Damn, that guy
Damn.
actually did a lot of good stuff for us."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we're starting at the top there, Rocker Thieves, I mean, come on now.
Could you
FaZe
imagine?
brother.
Yeah. This one's
I think the
interesting.
world would implode if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, FaZe
But
Ultra. I
I still
mean,
think FaZe is
you
winning
know,
this.
yeah. I mean, that whole right side there is going to be the exact same as to how it goes. But
Yeah.
like, dude, Ultra could do it, but probably not
They
going to.
could. I'm just going off of like odds in my head, right? Like I think an Ultra Optic are much closer than a Phase Ultra matchup,
Yeah,
Like
absolutely, absolutely.
so um oh wait,
And
this
then
is flipped. My bad.
if you went and had after that, um,
Oh, we need the
Cloud Nine and
storyline here.
Cloud9 and Optic, I know that would be a really good one. Um, I think um, I think Optic wins that though.
I do, yeah, I do too. This is a great storyline. And then this
Surge
is a
and
good match.
Heretics again. That's an amazing match. I'm gonna say it for the clout and for the boys. I'm gonna say
Mhm.
that Heretics win that. Surge.
Yeah.
They have a bad Major 4, they're gonzo.
That's the biggest
I don't know,
upset right there.
I just I
Smart
love
pick.
everybody on Heretics.
Yeah.
You can't not like anybody on that team. They're all cool.
Mhm.
So I like that one. Then yeah, these are sick matches. Heretics and Ultra, OpTic and Rocker. Um,
This is
the
I see, this is so even. Like I think Ultra take it.
yeah, I mean, we'll say for the difference. I would say Heretics win that
Mhm.
personally in my own mind, but that's kind of what we had in the last bracket, you know. So I would, yeah, have Heretics lose right after, and Ultra keeps going. They have an amazing run, and then
They're
I
gonna
know what
pull.
you're going to set up again. We've got OpTic beating
Oh,
Rocker, so then it's the boys
like
back at it. They're going to go and fight out Mercules versus
beans.
Beans. For what is that? Is that for top three?
Uh,
Well, potential,
like a
yeah.
potential,
No, it
yeah.
would be. Yeah, it would be
Top,
for top three.
it's top 4.
Oh, top four. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Um, the Thieves and FaZe when they face off.
Well, we had FaZe winning last time, so I guess
Yeah,
we can
so
have
we'll say
FaZe.
Thieves.
Yeah.
Thieves at the bottom. And yeah, I mean, this is gonna be forget about it. I mean, Ultra Optic,
For the culture, OpTic against FaZe.
brother. Could you
No.
imagine if they had this run? I mean,
Well, okay, so that'd be crazy because Optics would be playing Ultra 3 times in a row in terms,
dude, you think about it though.
which
This is almost an insane bracket for Optic to lose. Like if they lose, this actually doesn't look that bad for them. You know what I mean?
if they lose out of winners, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Like
doesn't.
their
They
path back is not bad. It's really like
yeah,
it's once they win like yeah, and they get into like the was it the round 4 there, like where again we
yeah.
were like at Optic Ultra again. Like if they win that,
Mhm.
yeah,
Who
that
all right.
it's
So
not bad.
realistically, right? Like I'm gonna go with Ultra just because they have. Dude, I don't know because Ultra looked good with Merc. They've been looking good with Beans, but it was just something about Merc. Like I think
Yeah.
Merc has an edge on this team. Like I think he's
I
gonna come out and want to destroy them.
I think he does too. I'm hoping that his words of loving the pressure
Yeah.
and playing under it are going to come to fruition and he's going to absolutely smoke them.
Well, especially
Um,
after losing to them in winners,
yeah.
right?
And then of course that phase optic, you know, we're going to go back to where we ended up as always.
That's a great placing for the guys in green, the boys over at Optic.
Well, dude, if that happens, like if they
And
make
champs.
it to Sunday, that's amazing. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's a huge W for them going into
Mhm.
champs. But yeah, however this bracket ends up playing out is, you know, it's interesting. There's going to be a lot of good matches that end up coming from it because of how the bracket's been broken down.
And
Um,
Thieves win this one.
yeah, Steve's
This
win
hitter.
in this universe. They
Yeah,
win.
exactly.
Um, but no, honestly, I am excited for this
Mhm.
major. You know, despite the fact that Thieves and FaZe are so far ahead,
Mhm.
um, it is exciting to see where some of these other teams may fall. And again, just like you know, the champs' hopes, like you know, who knows what happens to Optic? Maybe Optic go and they just get completely ran
This
through.
dude right here is
So where it gets
like
dicey.
it gets really dicey. Cuz dude, honestly, I can see C9 potentially beating Optic if they just come out hot. Um they can beat Optic for sure with that squad that they have.
Yeah, for
Now, I
sure.
don't want them to. I want this matchup because if
Yeah,
this matchup
I do
actually
too.
happens, then it's like, dude, it's do or die. It's like you drop the guy that is literally going to be eliminating you
Right,
from
right.
champs. This is a matchup.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't. It's gonna be cool. I mean, can you imagine like off the bat though, like from that first match? I mean, Rocker's obviously the one expected to lose. Can you imagine if
Yeah.
they beat
Be-
Heretics?
Yeah.
Like, dude, the upset from that would be insane.
Yeah.
Just immediate points in the bag that they get from
Mhm.
that, and Optics already like, oh shit, like we really got to go win
They
our
have to
match
win.
here. Yeah, they
Yeah.
have to win to keep it going.
Mhm. I
Like
mean,
that's so sick.
this yeah, this is I wouldn't say complete fantasy cuz I would say
No, definitely not.
we can see it happening. I mean, Thieves got knocked out Major 2 pretty early. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, so this is our first one. I think this is the most realistic one. And
the
then
level-headed one.
obviously, yeah, I think once you get to the championship too, like I don't think you can go wrong either way
Yeah.
who's winning. But we'll see how accurate we are with this one. We'll lock in with this bracket. Second bracket is more, for the plot. Because yeah, I think this would be cool.
Yeah. I think it would be too. But does it happen? Probably not. But dude, like we've learned though from anything in Call of Duty, you never know. Like
Yeah, you know, yeah, yeah.
again, you have no idea how these teams are going to show up on that day. Again, Rocker could just be amazing and they could pull it out. Dude, maybe this could be the day that we see Surge beat Thieves. I have
It
no
could be.
idea.
Yeah. And Thieves get knocked out of the tournament. Could you imagine FaZe getting knocked, both of those guys getting knocked out of the tournament
Dude,
early?
I like
Ooh,
low
that would be
key.
crazy.
I wish that would happen just because then I'm like, all right, let's see what they're made of. Like who's
Who
gonna
yeah,
make it against Surge?
exactly.
Do Surge and Heretics like show themselves as that top 3 team,
Yeah.
and they
Or does
make it to
Surge just
the end
continue
there?
to choke? Like they
Yeah,
cannot get
exactly.
past second.
Yeah. Like, or does everybody just smell blood in the water because those teams are gone and they're
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit, like we might
We could
win this
do it.
major, bro."
Yeah.
Like,
And I would say that this major is one of the most important majors to win. Obviously for the money, but like mentally. Winning this major right before champs too, it must give you like a pretty good high going into champs. Like, all right, we did it, we won a chip. Let's go win the big one.
right, right.
So
Like, yeah, knowing you can hang at this major is going to
mhm,
be a good omen for the big one for champ. So,
yeah.
we
Especially
shall
with the
see.
luck of if FaZe and Thieves get knocked out.
Yeah.
Then yeah. Could you I kind of want another situation where not LAG. No, it was LAG. When they just randomly won and they had Spart on the team. It was Spart,
Yeah,
Asim, Slasher, and who was
who
their
was their
fourth?
fourth? I know, I'm trying to remember now too who it was. It was definitely those 3.
And was it
No,
Standy?
I
No.
don't think it was Standy. Oh, dude, that's gonna bother me now who it was.
Slasher, Asim, Spart. Spart was a new guy because
Spar was it?
he replaced Gunless.
What, hold on, LAG winning major. Let me see what that
It was
was.
Vanguard.
Yeah, I wanna see if they say who it is.
I think definitely do.
Oh,
Was it?
yeah, you know who it is.
Who is it?
Hook.
Oh, Hook. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember when he won,
Mhm.
Asim stood up on his
Sarah,
chair,
yeah.
and Hook looked like he could give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, he looked over at
yeah,
Spart and was just like, "Yeah, dude, nice man, let's go." Like,
yeah.
Spart was absolutely
That
bugging, but Hook's like, "Oh, I've been here before, bro. I won a world
that
championship. Like, it's not that big of a deal."
that was a crazy run. Like
That was
that
ridiculous.
just so random.
Yeah,
Like
bro,
they
the
just showed up.
automaton. No, it wasn't the automaton, it was the Volk.
The Volk, yeah. Spark
Yeah.
pulled out the Volk and
Spa
everyone's like,
yeah,
"Whoa, wait a minute."
yeah. And then they got immediately GA'd.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
But,
yeah, these
yeah,
are 2
man.
brackets. Screenshot them. Let us know after I mean, let us know when you're listening to this because Major's already done by the time you're listening to this. Um, let's see if we're correct or not.
I know, I
We
kinda
should,
like it's like what's that?
we should go and post these, like, today or
Oh,
something.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
go post them to our Twitter.
yeah.
So people already seen it, but it's funny, like, it's weird having to go and make this after it, but I like it because then when people are listening to it,
Listening it? Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, yeah, let's see what these people thought." Like, they had no idea that Heretics would actually get smoked by Rocker, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And,
Um,
like, I will say too, I think what's the word? Reputable? I don't
yep.
know. Maybe that's not the right word, but we easily could scrap this and be like, "Nah, we're not posting this because we were completely wrong."
Right,
But
right, right.
I'm perfectly fine admitting that we were completely off because COD's COD, Like,
Right, right.
I think this first bracket is the most level-headed bracket, like you said. I
Yeah,
don't
no
think
doubt.
anything in here is too crazy.
No, I don't
So,
think so either. So
um,
we'll happily debate it in the comments over on YouTube or
mhm,
wherever. I guess we'll go and post it to Twitter already. So I'll be interested to see in the coming days to see what
mhm.
people have to say about it.
We'll have to post both brackets.
Yeah, and
This
see
is a
which one
reasonable
people.
one. The second one is I would say is, like, pretty reasonable too. I
Right,
mean, we
right.
got the other Thieves winning it, but
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think that just about does it, honestly, for this episode.
yeah,
This was a long ass one. It was a good one though.
a nice
It's a
long one
lot,
for you
lot,
guys.
lot of shit to talk about in this.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like going back to the beginning too. Like, let us know what you think about some of the wall running rumors that is going on with Black Ops
Mhm.
7. Like, if you're excited for that, or you think it's kind of pointless. Maybe it's not going to be what you're hoping and dreaming for. And then again, yeah, with the major, like how did it shape up? I'm curious. We'll be talking about it obviously in the next episode to see if we were completely on the money or we were dead wrong.
Mhm.
So that'll be fun. Maybe we have to eat our words. Who knows?
I mean, I had to eat my words from last major, so
Yeah, but it's like it depends. Sometimes it's not
yeah,
too bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
last major, I literally said, "I don't think Thieves are winning this, dude. I have a gut feeling," and then they won the whole thing.
oh, did you have FaZe winning the whole thing and then they got eliminated early? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know how
that was
early I
tough.
had Thieves, but, like, I thought FaZe was winning.
Yeah. Now we can't predict those early goes. Like if phase going early, no one can predict that, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Just
it's
happens.
impossible. But yeah, man, I think that does it for this episode, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. So again, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this episode number 223 of the COD Casuals podcast. Be sure to go to anchor.fm/COD Casuals since we're there on all streaming platforms. Be sure to go to where I'm trying to think of like 1,000 things. We got the YouTube to go to. Be
Mhm.
sure to comment, like, subscribe over there since we're posting every week. Sure, go into the Instagram and to TikTok since we just go and cut up all the episodes and post the shorts there. So show your support there. I have to go check the TikTok, dude. I think we're almost at 1,000 people following us. I think
Oh,
we're like
nice.
very, very close to it. Yeah, we're like only a couple off.
We
So
can
get
go
your ass over
live.
there. Yeah, I know.
Go
Get
live
over
during the
there.
major.
I know, right? um, and I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, on Spotify, of
5
course,
stars.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Always give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate it. It helps us out more than you know.
Nearly a 2-hour episodes, guys. Like,
God damn,
let us
dude.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
The true ones, the real ones, they listen to the whole
If
thing.
you made it to the end, you know who I'm calling out. Our boy Mike.
Oh,
We
yeah.
appreciate
We
you,
went
dog.
from weather to the predicting 2 brackets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
As
only
always.
get that over here at the COD Casuals.
Right. Yeah, we cover everything, bro.
Yeah.
And for those people who hate the weather and they left out at that time, fuck you.
Yeah, come on. The weather is important to where
Yeah,
you are
it is
too, trust me.
exactly, bro. But yeah, I think that's it, everybody. So again, we appreciate your support. Thank you so much for listening to this episode number 223 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike,
I'm Justin.
and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.